What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and it is our Black Excellence Month. Y'all already know what it is. Tonight, I'm going to be going over a film that I really didn't even have on my schedule to review, but I saw a tweet about this movie, and I was like, well, I realized I've never seen this, so I wanted to check it out because the clip enticed me. And I had a great time watching it, so I'm here to talk about it. That movie right now is Deliver Us from Eva. That's right, the 2003 classic, Deliver Us from Eva. If there's anything that exemplifies Black excellence, if there's amongst the many movies that do, I believe that Deliver Us from Eva is one of them. Before I get into it any further, though, I want to remind you guys, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and also here on YouTube, of course. Make sure you tune in on Thursday nights over on Twitch for the Last BrickWall podcast, and make sure you check out the Instagram page to see all of our mini reviews that we do over there. Links are going to be posted in the description down below as soon as I'm done recording, because I didn't do that yet because I'm me. But anyway, so gonna get into it. So Deliver Us from Eva. Like I said, this came out in 2003. It stars LL Cool J, Gabrielle Union. Gosh, I couldn't say anything right after I said LL Cool J. LL Cool J, Gabrielle Union, Megan Good, Essence Atkins, D'Artagnan Edmonds, who I have not seen in anything before this or after. Mel Jackson, Robin Lee, Royal Watkins, Dwayne Martin, Kenya Moore, Kim Whitley, and a nice little appearance by somebody. I'm going to talk about that in a second. So as you can see, this is a pretty stacked cast of some really good people. This is obviously a comedy, and for those of you, for the uninitiated who don't know what this movie's about, this movie that came out in 2003, this is about a girl named Eva, played by excuse me, I'm just getting so tongue-tied. Played by Gabrielle Union, who's been in charge of her younger sisters ever since their parents died many years ago. Eva's uncanny ability to interfere in her sisters' affairs has not endeared her to their spouses or partners. The men would like to close out and divide up the family trust fund that Eva oversees, so they concoct a simple plan: compensate cash-strapped ladies, man. All right, I'm not reading the rest of this. They decided they're going to pay LL Cool J's character to go and date Eva, but non-surprisingly, they start to fall for each other for real. So this movie, like I said, I remember when this movie was coming out, right? Aging myself somewhat. I remember seeing the trailers for it. I remember I was a kid, and it was weird because it was Deliver Us from Eva, and we all thought like, oh, that's so clever because Deliver Us from Eva, evil Eva. Oh, like we thought we were the smartest little kids on the fucking planet. But but that aside, I remember I didn't really ever get the chance to watch this movie. I don't even know if I knew anyone who had it on like DVD or anything like that. And if I did, I just never really sat and thought to watch it. This was directed by Gary Hardwick, who also wrote the screenplay. And it's adapted from a story, from a previous story called The Taming of Shrew. It's a Shakespearean comedy at that. So this is a Shakespearean adaptation. How many of you knew that, huh? How many of you knew that Deliver Us from Eva was a Shakespearean adaptation, an adaptation of The Taming of the Shrew that was written by William Shakespeare, huh? Did you know that? Did you know that? You ain't know that, because I ain't know that. You ain't know that. But so this is like I said, what I like about this movie is I got more laughs out of it than I thought I would have, right? Going into this, I know I was going to be watching a comedy, but when I saw the clip on Twitter, the one in particular I saw was when Gabrielle Union was directing the choir, and she was doing the waiting order, and she was being all extra with it. And I just like my review for 10 Items or Less with Morgan Freeman that I did over the Instagram page, which you can check that out. Gabrielle Union is, for some reason, someone I have not seen do a goofy shtick like that. And the way she was moving her body and being all extra with that, I was like, whoa, hold on. I don't recall ever seeing Gabrielle Union be in this type of role. Must not have seen too many Gabrielle Union movies. That says a lot about me, though, right? But or at least not knowing when she's that goofy like that. But I don't know. Anyway, so I'm watching that clip, and then I noticed in the choir, the lineup, there was Essence Atkins. So I'm looking like, okay, between Gabrielle Union doing this and Essence Atkins being in here, which Essence Atkins is honestly one of the funniest black female actresses I have ever had the privilege of watching on pretty much anything. Everything she's in, I think she is drop dead hilarious, and she is fucking gorgeous, because the same way she looked in this movie in 2003 is the same way she looked in a movie. I think I saw her in something recently, like last year. I think I saw her in something. She still looks the exact same, baby. Black don't crack. She is a beautiful woman. Like, she has not, and so is Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union hasn't really even changed. She looks the same. Like, she's twice as beautiful now as she was then, and she was woo in this movie right here. I'm watching her. I'm looking at her like, woo, ooh, that, ooh, she, ooh, woo, woo. All right, woo, all right, and you know what I'm saying? So everybody in this movie looks so good now. You know what I'm saying? Like, even Dwayne Martin, like, he looks fucking amazing now. Like, he looks amazing now. Yeah, all these actors and actresses in this movie look amazing right now. Still look the damn same. Kim Whitley still looks amazing now. Like, everyone looks like this movie looks like it could have just been made like last year or something, right? Like, but yeah, no, it's really funny. So like I said, but getting back to like the plot, because I'm gushing over the wrong things. So, you know, like I mentioned earlier, so Gabrielle Union's character, Eva, she's like this really high-strung woman. Like, she's like, you can tell she's smart as hell, but she's the type of smart where it's just like, no, I know I'm smart. And like, she was probably like really nerdy and geeky, and probably had to assert herself in situations growing up in her life, which you do kind of find out, you know, she was practically the one who took care of her sisters after their parents died, rather. And you can see she's just like really snippy, really serious, don't play no game, don't take no nonsense. But you can see that kind of hinders not just and throughout the movie, you can see it hinders not just her relationship with people, but just in terms of just her being comfortable enough to just exist. She's always so high strung. It doesn't just transcend to men. Like, she's not just, oh, well, man, if you're not good enough, I'm not going to tolerate you. It's more like she even confronts the preacher from church, and it's like, well, yeah, I know she made a couple mistakes here, and you can just do that, and I have some ways that you can make it better. And even the preacher is sick of her. Even the preacher is sick of her and her uppity ass attitude, right? But her sisters, on the other hand, they kind of like, they look to her as their leader. They're like, oh, well, Eva says this, so we got to do it. And Eva said that, so, you know, Eva's always right because Eva's so smart and Eva knows everything, so we follow after Eva. Eva's our leader, la, 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 la. And the husbands are the partners in this in their relationships are like, yo, but like, Eva's not in our relationship. Eva has nothing to do with this. Like, what about us? What about us? You can't keep following everything Eva says, because that's messing us up. But of course, that's their sisters, so they're just like, nah, but we're gonna listen to our sister. Just trust me on this one, okay? Because Eva knows what she's talking about, and if I trust her, you gotta trust me in trusting her. And they all just are so sick of it. They're so sick of it. And matter of fact, the inciting incident was they were trying to watch a football game, and they came in for the book club. The women came in for the book club, and Eva just like insulting them and telling them to get out and all that good stuff. So they're at the bar, and that's when they see LL Cool J's character, Ray. And so one of the guys recognized Ray, like, oh, we go way back, blah, blah, blah. And so they're like, okay, Ray, listen, we're going to show you, like, hey, we need you to highlight this girl, you know what I'm saying? We need you to talk to her. Her name's Eva, you know what I'm saying? Just get, we see you're a player, you can get the ladies, you a ladies man, you know what I'm saying? Go for it. At first, Ray is like, nah, I'm not going to do that. But then he sees Eva in action, because Eva's a health inspector. I didn't mention that. She's a health inspector. So, and Ray's like a meat delivery man. So while he was working at his job, he saw Eva just going off on somebody and just be like, well, this isn't clean, this isn't that. And if you don't get together, then you better watch it because I'm tough. And she's like that stern bossy type. So he sees it and he's like, okay. So he decides to go through with the plan under the agreement that they pay him $5,000. So you see throughout the course of the movie, it goes from him playing it real smooth and just sticking to the plan, but you could see that he's starting to fall for her. Like he genuinely starts to like her. She genuinely starts to fall for him, and she lets her guard down, and he shows up and shows out for her, and you can see how she, and the movie does a good job at this, right? The movie does a good job at allowing us as the audience to really see that Eva's just not this, excuse my language, but Eva's just not this bitch that is just this uppity bitch. She is a person that wants to do things, wants to have a relationship, wants to let her guard down, wants to be free, wants to just live her life for herself, but she's so up in taking care of her sisters and just being who she is. She's so stuck in her ways, kind of. She's so stern and very serious and hasn't really met anybody or found any reason to let that guard down or let herself change, right? So she's so embedded in that being who she is, but you can also see just like from subtle moments. At first it's very, very subtle. But it starts to get a little bit more in your face the closer it gets to her actually meeting Ray, and the more she interacts with Ray, you see that change. You see her be like, even what was it? Even before she actually like met Ray, she was like, oh, well, I need a date, but I don't know, just nobody's gonna meet my standards. And you can see she kind of wants that, right? Like she wants that type of life. And when Ray comes into the picture and Ray treats her a certain way and matches the energy that she doesn't think can be matched, he piques her attention, and she's like, okay, cool, I can give you these chances. I can date. I'll go out to date. I'll go out on a date with you. And even when Ray kind of snapped at her a little bit and then kind of went to apologize. Well, he went to apologize to her and everything. She was impressed by that. So that got her to go back on more dates. And then that's when they, of course, fall in love. So one of the central conflicts of this movie is that, Eva gets offered a job in another city. And so that causes her to really kind of try to think about what it is that she wants to do. Does she, for her, it's like, do I leave here and go and better my life, or do I stay for my sisters? But then if it's not the sisters, do I stay for Ray? Do I stay for this love? Like, I finally found love. Like, I just want to stay here. I just want this. And it's really, really interesting how all that plays out, how they show it all play out. And even with LL Cool J's character, even with Ray, you see him kind of go from, oh yeah, I'm playing, I'm just doing this, to kind of like, but I'm kind of really feeling her though. I'm really feeling her. I really do care about her. And so you do kind of see that. So it is a nice romantic movie. It's a nice rom-com. A lot of the jokes in this movie are pretty funny. There's this one, because they go to like a hairdresser. It's like, the ladies go to the hair salon, and they all talk and gossip and all that stuff. And it's the one, you got your token gay guy in the movie. He's hilarious. That's all I'm gonna say. He's hilarious. And then, if you guys never stuck around to the end of the credits of this movie, I will tell you there is a post-credit scene in this movie. Who would have known? And I'm not gonna spoil it for you in case you haven't seen it. I know this movie came out in 2003, but back in 2003, we didn't know that people did post-credit scenes. Post-credit scenes weren't like a thing that you stick around for. Post-credit scenes were if you have it on VHS or DVD and you let the DVD play through the credits and you see that extra scene, you're like, oh shit, there's another part. So like that, it was rare. It wasn't as common as it is now, right? So there is a post-credit scene. That's why I say, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's really funny. And it's made me kind of question a couple of things, but it was really funny. But I speak a lot about the things I like about this film, and I speak freely about this film because it's been out for over 20 years at this point, 21 years. I mean, I don't think there's really anything I can say to spoil it. And I do talk about the things I like about this film. I like how it flows. I like, I like how it's, even when it feels predictable, it knows it can be predictable. So it doesn't take its time to get to certain things, but it also doesn't rush. It plays, if the pacing is actually really good. I guess if I were to say some things I dislike about it, aren't really even things that I find as issues, so to speak. It's just that this movie was made in 2003, early 2000s. So there's a lot of tropes and a lot of dated camera work, a lot of dated, filming techniques, so to speak, that watching it today, I'm like, oh, well, that was a little corny. That wasn't really cool. That was a weird editing choice, but that's how it was back then. Like the movies certain movies flowed more like a collection of skits. Not collect. Okay, that's bad. That's bad. I don't mean that. More like ideas that are connected and do serve the narrative, but it's a little more loose with it all being connected, if that makes sense, right? Yeah, and this, like I said, I like this movie a lot. I had a really good time watching this movie. Like I said, just my dislikes for it just really do come from the fact that this was released in 2003. So watching this with the mindset of early 2000s movies versus the type of movies we get today and the type of production value and everything, that's where my criticisms come in. But take those away, I guess I don't really even know if it's a dislike to say that I don't like how the sisters didn't really seem like they had their own personality, because that was the point. I don't know. I guess like if I had to nitpick, I would say the resolution to everything was kind of just like, okay. Well, okay. I mean, we had to get to the end, right? But I mean, overall, I think this is a solid film. I do. Definitely a product of the time, especially with LL Cool J licking them lips every 43 seconds. To which they do make a joke about that. The acting wasn't bad. And everyone played their roles effectively. And for what it was, I did enjoy it. Could there have been different narrative choices or different pacing choices, or maybe a different type of an edit for this movie? Yeah, of course. But again, this is a movie that came out in the early 2000s. At the time, that the type of movies we have now and the way movies flow and jokes flow and writing flows is different than it was then. So I can't be too harsh on it in that regard. So, I'm being fair. That's me being fair about it. If this was made today, I probably would have ragged all over this shit. And that's just the truth. I would have ragged on it if this was made today. Now, if I'm in 2003 watching this, but like if this exact movie beat for beat was made today, I would be a little less kind to it, because it would come from the comedic pacing, because comedy moves different now than it did in the early 2000s. The way a joke fires off in a movie now is different than when it fired off in the early 2000s. And this isn't a comedy class, and I'm not the comedy expert, but those are just things I noticed. But in terms of my rating for this movie, currently I know rating wise, this has a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6 out of 10 on IMDb. Real quick before I get into my rating, you can find this movie on Peacock. If you have a Peacock subscription, it is on Peacock. That's how I watched it. But in terms of my rating, I give this movie a solid 4. 3.8. It was 3.8 out of 5. Is that where I'm sitting at with it? Is that where I'm comfortable with it? By the way, these are all live. I do live reviews too, so I can give it. This is tough because I want to give it a 3.8, but I feel like that contradicts what I said about looking at it through the lens of at the time versus the lens of today. But cards on the table. If I want to be 100%, I give it a 4. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I laughed a lot more than I thought I was going to laugh. There are a lot of good jokes in here. And let me get to that little cameo appearance in this movie. So they're at the bar. They're talking to Ray, and they're like, "Oh, come on, what you playing for the other team? You play for the other team." And lo and behold, the bartender is who else but Terry fucking Crews. Why is it always Terry Crews? Why is it always Terry Crews? He's just turning around looking like that. And that's all he does. He didn't do any lines or anything like that. But I was like, damn, why is it always got to be Terry Crews? And that part just made me laugh. But yeah, a lot of good jokes in here. There's just, some things with some things with the writing and the choices of certain scenes to put in was questionable at best. But overall, I still thought it was a good movie. And I gave it a 4 out of 5. So that's my rating for it. Deliver Us from Eva. Check it out on Peacock now. It's available to watch there. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. Was it a good movie? Did you enjoy it? Do you think this is not a good movie? Did you never like this movie? Are you shocked that I'm just now seeing this movie in 2024? Let me know in the comments down below. And make sure while you're there, you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button down below. Follow us on social media. And until then, thanks for tuning in. We still got more to go for this month. So stick with us. But until next time, be easy. Stay breezy. Peace.